Hi friends and welcome. I'm Anna Helman and today I have a quick trick you can use on any of your cards to add something really special to them. I hope you'll stick around and watch. At the end, stick around, we'll talk about life. I want to talk about being intentional with how we spend our time. Let's get started. I thought it would be fun to use my scoring tool to make some really neat corners on a card project. So I've created this one and I want to show you really quickly how you can do this on any of your projects as well. Now I have double layered this one. I'll give you the measurements for both of these pieces, but keep in mind you can do this as a single layer if you prefer. Here is one layer I've already prepared for the card that we're going to make together. You could do one layer and just keep it like this, or you can do a double layer. You can also change up the dimensions and make these come in farther. There's a lot of different ways you can play around with this, but let me show you how to create this really neat effect. You will need your scoring board, and if you have a diagonal attachment or a diagonal plate for your board, you can use that. If not, I am showing you how I do it with my regular board. So I just have a triangle of cardstock that I cut. This needs to be square when you start and then cut it in half diagonally. So this one measured 6 inches by 6 inches. I cut it in half, and I use this a lot of times as a template on my scoring board when I want to score at a right angle or at 45 degrees, and I use this to help with that. So you can use tape if you want to hold everything in place. I am not doing that. I am just lining up my piece of paper here and I'll give you the dimensions. So this one is going to be the smaller one for the layer on top. It measures 3 3/4 by 5. If you just want the bottom layer, that one measures by 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm putting the very corner of this right up here at the 6-inch mark where it is fully against the edge of this triangle. And what I did is I counted to the 4th score line. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I scored on the 4 and I scored again on the 5. I'm going to rotate this, line up that corner, make sure it's all the way against my triangle. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll repeat this 2 more times. So like I said, if you have a hard time holding this in place, you can grab some tape to hold it in place temporarily. I usually find I can hold it pretty steady just with my hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, score on the 4 and the 5. Now what we are going to do with this is I'm flipping it over to the back side. Now this is some, I'll show you this real quick. This is some paper I have called Mediterranean Blooms, and it coordinates with a bundle called Citrus Blooms. Here's the stamp set, and then it has a coordinating die set that cuts out all of what you just saw. Plus it has these really neat large dies that go with it. So that is what I've used, this designer paper and the stamps and die set. You'll see in a minute one of the pieces I cut out with the dies. But I'm flipping this over. This will be the back side on this card. And I'm folding on the one that's in the farthest towards the center of the card. And then I'm going to fold back on that second score line. So fold back and then fold back the other way. So this is really simple. This is something you can, and what I love about it is you can do this with anything, no matter what you're creating on your project. If you feel like it needs something a little bit extra, this is something you can try. So I have not put adhesive on any of the corners. If you want to put adhesive on the corners, you can. I think it's probably a little bit easier not to. And as we get everything pressed down in place, then those can just kind of slide into where they belong. So I have just put adhesive all along the inner part, excluding the corners. I want to get this lined up in the center before I press anything down. And then I'm going to press down some of it. You may have to press the corners in a little bit as you're doing this to get those to lay flat. It works a little bit better with the designer paper than it did. I had to press a little bit harder, be a little bit more intentional about getting this all to lay flat when I was working with the cardstock layer. But isn't that beautiful? I especially like this with this design on this paper, but I think these are just gorgeous. But let's go ahead and finish this. I took a piece of that designer paper. Now I could have stamped this with the stamp set, but I took a piece of the designer paper and I cut that out with the coordinating dies. I love when I have products like this that coordinate because it really makes it easy. And actually, before we put this on, I decided I really like this ribbon that I used on here. I was thinking I wanted to put some messy ribbon on. And this is how I do my messy ribbon in a lot of cases, but I don't always know if it is going to look the way I want it to look. So let's lay this piece on top, and I do like that it shows a little bit around the outsides. That's exactly what I want. And I will trim this off. I can go ahead and put this down with the dimensionals I had all over the back. And do you ever end up with your greeting tag on the floor or stuck to your sock or anything like that? I just found this on the floor. I was looking and like, where did my tag go? We'll put this right on here and they are done. So I think this is a lot of fun. I hope you like this idea and I hope you can try it on your projects. Over the last year or so, I've become really... I don't know what word I'm looking for. I have come to believe very strongly we must be intentional with our lives. Now, I feel like it sounds silly saying that because, well, of course we should be intentional. It's my life and I should choose how I live it, right? But I feel like if we are not incredibly intentional and think through very carefully all the things we do with our time, all the things we watch, all the things we listen to, the people we spend our time with, if we are not incredibly intentional with these things, that I feel like the world can run away with us. I had a friend who had stopped by to pick something up here not too long ago, and she was upset because this time of year is a lot, okay? For people, I feel very blessed that I get to work from home. Farmer Matt gets to work from home. We have a lot going on, but we get to do it from home and we have a lot more flexibility than people who are working all the time, especially those with kids at home, both parents working. Like that is a lot to manage, especially if you're running kids around in the evenings and all the things. And I feel like it can quickly take over your life. And this time of year, we feel like we have to do all the things, the gifts and the cooking and the stuff. And especially for mom or grandma, I imagine, like, I don't know what that's like. I'm not there yet, but it can be a lot. So just thought I would talk about this because the more we talk about things and think about them, we can, the more I talk about being intentional, the more I'm going to remember to be intentional. The next time somebody asks me if I can help out with this project or serve on this committee, or I have become very, very selective of the things I choose to participate in and how I spend my time. Several years ago, I had been helping with several groups in the community, and when things got hard, I quit all of them. Since then, I have gotten involved with the women's Bible study at my church, which is a short-term commit. We do it for like 8 or 12 weeks, and then we start over. And it's a new commitment if you want to do it that time. But that, and then I got asked to be on a committee here not too long ago. I don't know if you've ever heard about LifeWise Academy. It is where kids can take Bible classes during school hours. I believe they always have to go somewhere off site to do this. But anyway, I got asked to be on a committee to try to get this into our local school, which it sounds like shouldn't be a problem because of wording in Indiana state law and our schools' policies. Apparently, this can happen at a lot of schools. I've started seeing LifeWise Academy signs in a lot of different places. So if that is something you think would be of benefit in your community, talk to some people, get on the website. They help. This organization helps you figure out all the things. And what I love about it, because people in different denominations and all the things, we can have disagreements if we want to focus on differences, right? We can have, right, churches split off into all these different, they focus on the big things. They focus on Jesus. They stay away from the little differences. And I just think this is amazing. If we look at kids today, the rates on mental wellness, mental unwellness, just all kinds of things. These kids need light and hope. And if we can get these programs into schools, like, I just think this is going to be amazing. And some of the success stories that there's some on their website, like, it's just amazing. But anyway, I was not going to talk about this today, but this is what happens. I just start talking and I never know what's going to come out. And then if you choose to listen, you are the lucky recipient. So let's be intentional. Let's be intentional. When I first got that message about serving on this committee, I saw that it was about serving on some committee, and I was like, oh, be leery of whatever this is. We're not just going to agree to whatever it was. And as soon as I saw what it was, I was like, yes, I will do that. I will do that with my time. But let's be intentional. Let's not just get involved in all the things and think that we have to do all the whatever it is at home, decorating, or I don't know, whatever it is, whatever we do with our time. Let's be intentional so that we can keep ourselves centered and well, so that we can live a good life instead of letting the world run our lives. I hope you have a blessed day. I hope you will be back again next time when I'll be here helping you to handmake with love.